China is, in my judgment, the greatest long-term geopolitical threat to the United States for the next century. Mr. President, I rise today to express concern over President Biden's nomination of Governor Gina Raimondo to lead the Department of Commerce. We are a year into a deadly pandemic that originated in Wuhan, China. The Chinese Communist Party censored and disappeared doctors and journalists who were trying to tell the truth about how the coronavirus was spreading, and the Chinese Communist Party lied to the world about the nature of the virus. Over 2.5 million people worldwide have died, including over 500,000 Americans. The Chinese Communist Party's lies and censorship and propaganda didn't stop with the pandemic. They pervade everything the Chinese Communist Party does. Many of us are increasingly concerned that China is gaining access to American secrets using non-traditional, all-of-government or even all-of-nation approaches to espionage against the United States and our allies. That includes using companies like Tencent and Huawei, which masquerade as telecom companies when they are in fact government espionage operations. This is deeply troubling and dangerous. China is, in my judgment, the greatest long-term geopolitical threat to the United States for the next century. Presidents in both parties have believed for decades that the United States could somehow turn China from a foe to a friend through trade and diplomacy, or that allowing China into rules-based institutions would turn China into a rules-based country. Instead, sadly, the opposite has happened. The United States, of course, can't sever all commerce with one of the biggest economies on the planet. But we must recognize China for the threat it poses to our national security. To counter the threat that China poses, we should do 4 things. Number 1, we should protect ourselves from Chinese espionage and interference. Number 2, we should insulate the supply lines of our critical resources from China, including by bringing them back to the United States. Number 3, we should insulate all commerce from enabling the Chinese Communist Party's human rights abuses, including their systematic pattern of torture and murder and genocide. And number 4, we should vigorously compete to secure our interests.